Welcome back to Crime O'Clock on Typically Unique. A long time no see, you guys. Thanks for hopping right on over to this Idaho 4 Live. Today, we're just going to look at a little bit more information about the 1126 cabin house with the King Road girls that were Alpha Phi members that lived there, and why I feel like that's an important location. Let me get right to it. We're going to get right to it. Okay. All right, we're going to look at, this is ISP document 44, report 44. And this document has many different tips that were called in. And we're going to look at line 54. So when you look at this report, it just, every line is numbered. Okay. Now, this is what they have written as a report from Mason Barstow. We have Mason Barstow's video interview. Okay, you can check out Connor's channel. We've played it on here before. Logan might have gotten that one. I looked for it the other day, and I think it might have been Logan that actually got that one, but either Christie's Chaos, Connor, Logan channels were probably the original ones that got that interview. It was a long interview. It was a decently long interview, and we're going to look and see how much did they write down out of that interview. I will also say it was a heavily redacted interview. There was a lot that was silenced as far as the audio, and it was also a blurred video. So we were not allowed to see Mason himself, and we were not allowed to see the investigators that were questioning him. And when you watch that interview, there's a lot of funny stuff going on with the camera footage. That's all I'm going to say about that. All right, line 54. On December 2022, Detective Brown and Sergeant Hopkins interviewed Mason Barstow about his whereabouts. I did not feel when they were questioning him that they were asking him about his whereabouts. On November 12th and 13th, they also were asking him about his knowledge of the fraternity, which they did, and his knowledge of the homicide, which they did. During the interview, Mason told us the following. He was previously interviewed during Thanksgiving break. Okay, we only have one interview from him. So it would be curious to go back and get this first interview. So we only have one interview. He was previously interviewed during Thanksgiving break, November 18th, by the FBI in Boise, Idaho. He was asked about the victims and blank, blank. Who's this? He was asked about the victims and someone we're not allowed to know. Who do you guys think this is? He was asked about the victims and blank, blank. Who's this? Brian Koberger? I doubt it. I doubt it. So who is this other obviously suspicious person, or I mean someone on December 3rd. This is December 4th was arrested. So 20 days before there's an arrest, they're inquiring about somebody that we're not allowed to know about. I don't think it's Cole Berenberg. I cannot put Cole Berenberg in a fraternity. I don't think he's affiliated with a fraternity. Um, I personally don't think Cole Berenberg is really that and that's not a Christian right there. I don't know. Then he says Xander Kernodle was his Greek little. And I made a chart all about this because Mason Barstow has 3 Greek littles, and they're all female, and they are from 3 different sororities. A Greek little is not someone you are pursuing, but a friend, because that's important to put into a report. A friend that is part of your Greek family. His big told him, very important to me. Who was Mason Barstow's big? I would love to find that out. I was scrolling through Delta Tau Delta's Instagram page trying to see if I could figure that out, but I could not yet figure. So he was told to hang out with a few different houses. Probably, I mean, I took this as the 3 sororities, like the Alpha Phi's and the, I don't know what the other one is, Pi Phi's. Xana's a Pi Phi. Bianca, I think, was Bianca Perez, I think is his little from the Alpha Phi's. So he's got Xana as a Pi Phi, and then there was another one I can't remember off the top of my head. They would have events where only their littles is the vice president of his house. They are currently in a transition period after their election. He is helping the new guy get up to speed. So he was not going to be the vice president anymore, but he technically was still the go-to guy on the night of the crime. Last year, he was the blank, blank, blank. So I don't know what this would be. Was he in charge of like recruitment or the discipline guy or the what was that other title they had that was crazy? The ritual guy. I should know this. I know I've looked it up, but I can't remember. Looking at your comments real quick. You know, that's my gut feeling accomplished. That's seriously my gut feeling. How crazy would it be if Jake Schreiger was his big? Like, that would just be the most coincidental answer, right? Where we go? He knows everyone in the frat pretty well. The house gets a little cliquey based on pledge classes. So, like every year, there's a group, and that group hangs together, which makes sense. He had classes with Maddie Mogan. They didn't even spell her name right since his freshman year. And he met Kaylee. You know what? Okay. This could take us back to Cole Berenberg. This could be the connection with Cole Berenberg. So we will do that. We'll do that after this. I've read this 25 times. He had classes with Maddie Mogan since his freshman year, and he met Kaylee Gonsalves through Maddie. Maddie had been dating Jake Schreiger for a little while. Blank was his blank in the fraternity. Who is this? Is this Jake? They were just talking about Jake. I don't know. We are not allowed to see it. We're not allowed to see it. Blank was his big in the fraternity. Blank was the one who told him he was going to Little Xana. This is so interesting to me. Mason got told, you will make Xana Kernodle your little, whether you want to or not. Isn't that telling, you guys? That's weird. Blank was in fraternity. Blank was the one who told him. So I think whoever his big was told him that you're going to take Xana as a little. Blank, his little blank is taking over for him as the vice president. I mean, he was the vice president. So he also has, so there's a name here. So we could figure this out. We can figure out this name because his little became the vice president in like the winter of 2022. So if we go back and look at the executive board on Instagram in 2022 in the wintertime after Mason Barstow's done, we could find out who his little is. Maybe they keep turning over the same position. Who was the vice president before Mason Barstow? That's interesting. He knows pretty well. His little is going to graduate at the end of the spring of 2023. So we can take all this information and figure out who this is eventually. He and Kaylee started talking about a month prior to the homicide. So Mason Barstow had been talking to Kaylee in October. So talking to Kaylee in October. She would come back with him and stay at the fraternity. Sounds more like hooking up than a relationship, which is fine. They talked on Saturday at I'm going to say this is the Whites pregame party, where Kaylee apologized to him. No one has been asked about this. Have you heard anybody in interview get asked? Well, I mean, let me take that back. I'm sure Mason explained why Kaylee apologized, but we weren't allowed to hear that part. We were not allowed to hear that part. The sound is glitching. Let me try something. Is it better? Testing, testing. Can you hear me better? Does it sound any better? Sometimes it's you personally, and you have, like, mine will refresh all the time. I have to leave and come back. It was in person. It was in person. Okay. It's better. Okay, good. I had 2 StreamYards open. I closed one of them. I'm bouncing back and forth from live to live today. All right. Oh, someone just brought up a text. Here it says, okay. So Mason and Kaylee were physically together at the Whites pregame party. Kaylee apologized to him and wanted to go to the game with him. And remember, Ava, somebody who just had an interview, said she tried to get Kaylee a ticket to the game, but then Kaylee ended up not going. So they must have been trying to get a ticket to the game, and she wanted to go with Mason. But he had already had plans to go to a sorority formal that evening with Mia Darwood. I remembered her last name, everybody. Mia Darwood. The sorority formal that he's going to is Maisie Chapin's formal. So he was at the Hunga Dunga with Mia Darwood. Kaylee texted him that night, and he ignored it. Kaylee was pretty drunk on Saturday. She was this is from him. He says Kaylee was pretty drunk on Saturday. She was probably texting others to hang out as well. So we can infer Kaylee texted him because she wanted to hang out, but he ignored it. The texts were through Snapchat. Snapchat deletes after 24 hours. This is the guy, if you have seen his interview, does not want to turn over his phone. He did not want to turn over his phone. I'm sorry about the way that this is looking. Okay, that's better. Yeah, he did not want to turn over his phone. So they mainly use Snapchat. They will create large 40-person groups on Snapchat to communicate. His primary way to communicate is through Snapchat. He never really had standard text message conversations. I think that's pretty telling. To me, that means you don't want stuff on your phone. That just means to me you don't want stuff on your phone. How else are you supposed to look at that? I don't know. Blank blank is still a blank and lives by himself. This has to be Jack Showalter. Jack Showalter is still a Delt and lives by himself he lives at the Queen Apartments. He was out of the picture on Saturday because of being at the formal. Back to Mason. This is talking about Mason. He usually knows where the guys are going to be and where they are comfortable going. So this is interesting. Now this makes me want to go back and listen to his interview. And at some point in the interview, to know that they're talking about Jack Showalter, probably talking about Jack Showalter. He usually knows where the guys are going to be and where they are comfortable going. His frat is comfortable going to Xana's house for a party. He's not aware of everybody's relationships with the victims. If there was someone who was not allowed to go to Xana's house, he would know. Maddie and Connor or Jake it's got to be Jake. Maddie and Jake were pretty enamored with each other. He does not know who is hooking up with who within the group of people. Now, remember, Chris Whitcomb on his last interview with the custody queens, he said there was an issue with people in the house at 1122 with their relationships. He said that. He didn't say who. He didn't give us any other information. Blank blank is dating blank blank from Boise. So this must be Dylan Mortensen is dating Quinn Kelly from Boise. I don't know. Probably. Blank blank and blank blank from the frat house had gotten with, two guys from the frat house had gotten with Madison Mogan, Bethany Funk. Maybe this is two guys with Bethany. I'm strictly just using the length of the boxes. And since they're talking about Dylan here, it makes sense they would talk about Bethany here. So this is just my best guess. I'm just guessing. So one is Kai Davis, and who else? Does anybody have a photo of another Delt with Bethany? Anybody else have a photo of Bethany with another Delt? I think that's interesting. He feels pretty terrible about what happened. He didn't act like it when he was talking. I'll tell you that. There was no emotion. And the point I made about Mason Barstow is his little was anacronodal, close relationship. He was spending the night with Kaylee, super close relationship. And your fraternity brother's girlfriend, Madison, who you've known for almost 4 years, that's 3 very close relationships with 3 victims. And this was December 3rd. He never really got choked up or anything. All right, let me fill this part in. I think this is Bethany. And I think this is Kai Davis. Right there. And this is Dylan and Quinn. That's what I think. Okay. Jen, why are you falling out of your chair? What are you guys talking about? Oh, the picture. Are you guys supposed to pictures? Good point. Good point. Good point, Jen. They wouldn't redact the other names. Lyndon Beck. Oh, I wanted to ask that. Was Lyndon Beck a Delt? I forgot what fraternity he belonged to. What fraternity was Lyndon Beck in? Okay. Blank, blank. Oh, I got to make this bigger. Sorry. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay. Blank, blank was the last blank of the fraternity. Is this Jake Schreiger was the last president or vice president of the fraternity? Again, I looked this up and I can't remember. But Jake was on the executive board. I know that for sure. Blank was visiting the weekend of the homicide and was staying at blank. Blank is a cabin at the end of King Road. Here we go. This is why this is so important. Okay. We need to find, and I'm going to look it up right now, who was the last. Well, I'll do it while we're looking at the body cam, I guess. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Blank was the last blank of the fraternity. I think I already have these photos saved. And he was the one visiting. All right, we're doing this right now. Let me finish this because it's almost done. And then we are doing a live dive into that. I think we just found the boyfriend, you guys. It only took me like 8 times reading this document. I think we just found who was the boyfriend from out of town staying at the cabin. On November 13th, between 11 and 12. Oh, this is not what he said in his interview. This is, well, maybe it is. Okay, 11, because the 911 call went out at 11:56. So between 11 and 12, Mason, whoever's at the cabin got a hold of him and told him something bad happened at Xana's house and to do a head count. Love Tina. Oh my goodness, girl. This makes sense. Do you guys remember the cabin rumor? Oh, you guys, all we heard at the beginning of this case was Jack Showalter went to his parents' cabin. Jack Showalter went to the cabin. Jack Showalter left town and went to the cabin. Different cabin? Different cabin? Wow, you guys. Leaving for the cabin. This can all just be a coincidence, but like we have a list of like 25 coincidences already. I need to add that one. Coincidence. The cabin. That's crazy. Nothing is a coincidence in this case. I agree. Either everything is or nothing is, because everything is such a coincidence. So this was the first thing that made me pick up on this. Like, why is somebody who's in a house calling the Delta Tau Delta fraternity house and saying, do a head check before the 911 call even happens? Okay. A head count is a sprint through the house for people to count their pledge class and make sure they can get a hold of everyone. Blank blank was the only house member they could not get a hold of during the head count because he was with the people who found the bodies. This has to be Lyndon Beck. I wonder if Lyndon Beck had a fling with Bethany. And then he was with Josie. That's interesting. Lyndon Beck, blank blank is a member of his pledge class. Blank is a good friend of blank blank. Wait. Blank is a good friend of blank. Blank still lives in the frat house and just finished his role as another executive board person Blank was present during the head count. So I'm not I don't know who this is. I'll go back to this one after we get this all sorted out. Lyndon Beck was dating Josie Louderin. Josie lived with Emily Allant. Emily was dating Hunter. The four of them were all in Emily and Josie's apartment. He said they were all at when they went to the police station. So he was saying right here, he was with the people who found the bodies. Lyndon Beck was with Hunter Johnson, Emily, and Josie. They all went over to the house. That's who that is. That's Lyndon Beck right there. All right, I'm going to come back to line 85 and work on that later. Blank is known as a night owl. They don't usually see him until noon. Blank has popped up on the university radar a couple of times because of fighting, because there were some delts who were fighting. Blank got into a fight at Corner Club one night. Who were the guys that got in the fight, you guys? Jack Showalter. Connor. Is Connor the other one? It is Connor Chestnut, isn't it? Okay. So Connor is known as a night owl. I'm thinking this might be Connor. They don't usually see him until noon. If this is Connor. Connor has popped up on the university radar a couple of times because of fighting. Connor got into a fight at the Corner Club one night. Connor just recently, approximately 3 or 4 weeks ago, got into a fight at one of the formals. Didn't we think that was an Alpha Phi formal? Thank you, Simply Kayla Nicole. Connor was on the executive board. So we think this might be Connor. There's a lot to figure out in here. I do know that we have an interview where someone explains this fighting. All of them are at the Corner Club and nobody saw the altercation. Of course, nobody saw the altercation. The university is still looking into the fight at, I think this is an Alpha Phi formal event. I don't know, or Pi Phi, one of the two. He was gone on the weekend of the formal. It looks like Blank was in the wrong place. Oh, Blank was in the wrong place at the wrong time and got caught in the middle of the altercation. He recommended to the university that Blank write apology letters to the university and to this is Alpha Phi, because he was talking about his cousin. I think it's Mason Barstow's cousin was the president of Alpha Phi. And someone just showed who the president of Alpha Phi was. Was that who was the president of Alpha Phi, you guys? Was it Josie or Natalie or Zoe? The president of Alpha Phi, I think, is in the interview. I think Mason says it's his cousin. I think we can hear him say that. So what Mason did was he just went over and he had a conversation with the president of the sorority, and they just came to an understanding, and he said, hey, I'll just have that guy write an apology letter. The Delta Tau Delta House is now waiting to hear if they are on suspension or not based on the formal. Based on the formal incident and a couple of hazing allegations. Did you guys see the Penn State drug bust where they had a drug ring at Penn State University? It just got busted. And I was listening to the news report about it, and they said when they were hazing their freshmen, they were making them package cocaine. It's crazy. As part of their hazing ritual, they were making them package. Yes, the formal is hard to figure out what actually happened at that formal. Yeah. Blank and blank blank were both involved in the incident at the blank formal. I'll come back about this formal. Let me jot that down. We'll do an episode on the formal fight. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. We'll get to the bottom of that. Oh, and these two Delta Tau Delta members are knocking on death's door. They will probably get cut from the chapter. Blank was the one who instigated the altercation. The frat house has a general door code to access the house. The door code needs to change more. I think now they're talking about the 1122 house. It needs to change more frequently. They also have a couple doors. Oh, no, he's talking about his fraternity. They also have a couple doors on the first floor. They blank leave open. I don't know. Both blank and blank have been in the house for 4 years and are on their way out of the house this spring. So these guys are all seniors. These guys were all seniors. Hi, Coco. Blank and blank have also been told to not go out with them for a while. His other little sister is either Bianca or, oh my God, I can't remember. I have them written down somewhere. I'm only looking because I know I have it right. I had it right here. Otherwise, I wouldn't dig. I'll find it after the show, and I know it's sitting right here. I know it's sitting right here. Anybody in the chat say it? Anyways, he has another little sister. His other little sister hosted the party on Friday at the Whites. That looks too small. Is it Kayla? I thought we said Bianca was his little, but that box looks too small for that. But Bianca and Kayla lived at the Whites and they had that party. He gave verbal consent and signed a written consent form for law enforcement to download the contents of his cell phone. He sure didn't want to, though. He sure did not want to. Mason's phone was turned over to the FBI Special Agent Rob Hilley, who coordinated the download of its contents. At the conclusion of the interview, Mason's phone was returned to him. So they did that right there at the incident. On the 13th, they woke up, did the head count, and tried to get a hold of their friends. He checked on everyone. He called blank and checked to see if he was okay. He and blank went to get food. I don't know who this is. Kai, maybe. Who is this? He and someone went to get food at McDonald's and checked on the guys at, we think this is 614 Ash Street. I think I got that address right. And this is the house. We'll have to look at this house as another location. This house is a Delta Tau Delta live out, and we believe Mason Bangman was living there. Blank, check on the guys at blank. While he was getting food with blank was doing all right. That's weird. They talked back and forth about getting a hold of Xana, speculating that maybe she was talking to the police. Who would be concerned about Xana? This is another part I need to figure out. We need to figure this out. Oh, I know. Mason Bangman. Mason Bangman used to date Xana. He was with Mason Bangman. Oh my gosh. This has to be Mason Bangman. And there's a female that got interviewed, and she said Mason Bangman was upset. Like, he was upset about me. It sounded like he really liked Xana. This has to be Mason Bangman. He and Mason went to get food at McDonald's and checked on the guys at, Ash Street. No, it's not him. Okay. I think there's some words left out here. This doesn't make sense. They tried to stay positive, but this has to be Mason Bangman. At 3 or 4, they got an update from, who's this? That 4 people were dead. Why does this have to be redacted? Who did they get an update from? If this is redacted, hi, woke up 1984. If this is redacted right here, is it a person? Is it law enforcement? That 4 people were dead at 3 or 4 in the afternoon. The families didn't know yet. If this was a vandal alert, why is it blacked out? By Monday morning, everyone had gone home. He was talking to blank that day and was into some Snapchats with others about what was going on. Blank and blank are the 2 main houses he hangs out with the most. Blank stayed over with him at Mia Darwood stayed over with him on Saturday night. Mia was in his room with him all night. Mia is a Kappa Alpha Theta, I believe, is their sorority. He was at the party at the Whites until about 4 p.m. Then he went to sober up so he could go to the formal with Mia. The formal was held at the Hunga Dunga. They got back to the fraternity at about 11 p.m. There were probably about 60 or 70 people in the apartment attending the party at the Whites. Once he left the party, he detached from the events for the night. Is this Mason? Does Mason drive a blue blank? Someone drives a blue blank, someone drives a silver blank, and someone drives a blank and what's this? Someone drives a bus. Someone drives a motorcycle, a scooter, a golf cart. What is this? And someone drives A small white car. I know Connor's mom in her interview, she's going to talk about him having a white car. All right. That was Mason Bangman, a school bus. Thanks for catching my joke, G Bean. Oh, that's so funny. Halls, thank you for the jewels. Thank you. Oh my gosh. All right. I said we were going to look at something real quick. What time is it? Okay, we got time. Let me go. I'll share my screen in a second. Oh wait, no, I think I already have this. Let me check my Google Drive. I have a whole folder just for the delts, you guys, because I already screenshotted a lot of this stuff. So hopefully I don't have to go back to Instagram again. And do you guys, if those of you who watched my show yesterday, I had a screenshot of what I thought was the King Road cabin. But it was taken from the road in front of the 1122 house, looking back behind it. And I forgot where I got it from. I got it from the body cam videos. So I was watching, I think Nunez, like I was watching one of the first responders body cams so I could see the houses and it showed it. So I took a screenshot and that's where I got it from. All right, let me find my folder. I think it's in here. Wait a minute. Everything I have in here is the delts. We should just look at all of these. We should just look at all of my folders or all of my pictures. Okay. Oh, here we go. The 2021 Executive Board. I knew I had it. All right, here. I'm sharing. So we're just going to see if Jake Schreiger is that information we were looking at. All right, wait a minute. I should have the names. Do I have the names? No. Oh, I don't have the names, but here you go. See any familiar faces? This is the 2021 Executive Board. Wait, Barstow should be in here. I don't even see him. Maybe this was the year before. Here, I have another one. Here we go. This one has the names. This president is George, and Mason's the vice president. Connor Chestnut's the secretary. So this is Mason Barstow that we were just talking about with the black on black. Black on black. There's Connor Chestnut. Is this Kai Davis over here to the left? Who is that? Hudson Manny. No. I might have to come back with that. I have so many screenshots. All right. So the last thing that I wanted to do was show you, Lyndon. Thank you. That was Lyndon. Hey, Dago. All right, let's look. Last thing, share this. So now we're just going to look at this cabin. So where did I put that page? Where'd I put the top page? It fell. Whoever was staying at this house. What did I do with my top page, you guys? It was just here. Hot Mess Express. Give me 1 second. It fell or it flew. Sometimes I feel there it is. Here it is. I got it. All right. I want the second page. 54. I'm still missing a page. Here it is. Okay. I'm looking for the part where he was talking about the guy being the girlfriend. I mean, the boyfriend. Okay. It's line 82, you guys. Line 82. That's the one. Line 82. Let me make sure I get that marked. Line 82. Blank blank was the last blank of the fraternity. Blank was visiting the weekend of the homicide and was staying at 1126. 1126 is a cabin at the end of King Road. So that's why I was looking for who was the last, like who was the previous president of the fraternity. Okay. So that's why we're looking at this. All right. So this is News Nation, but News Nation got a reporter to go and walk around the property, and you can't see it. Here we go. So let's just look at the cabin. And I stopped it right here. Look at that, has to be it right there. See it? And I think that's the Moyes to the left behind the tree. So I think the Moyes is to the left, way up on the hill. But I think this house right here with the back porch is the cabin. It's got the gray log cabin structure. It's got the big chimney on top. They do have a chimney inside. So let's just look.
Up close and personal, News Nation was granted access to the Moscow, Idaho murder.
So look how close. Right by that stump right there. Right by that stump.
House like no one has. Private security, on duty 24/7, led me to the back of the home, a place that's off limits to everyone except...
Oh, wait a minute. I just saw something else. Okay, hold on.
To the Moscow, Idaho murder house.
Do you see that house right up there at the top? Right under rush hour?
House like no one has. Private security. On duty 24/7, 24/7 led me
I'm just trying to catch the houses.
to the back.
Right there. Look at that. Do you guys see that? Right next to News Nation exclusive. What is that?
Of the home.
Right there. Right under News Nation exclusive. I need to screenshot this. And then I'm going to forget where I screenshot it from. Oh my gosh. Screenshot. I cannot see your comments right now, but I will be there in 1 second to look at it. I should do this so I know where I got it from. I just feel like houses are popping up all over the place, like random places. Like, what is this? The place already makes no sense because of the way the roads are. Like, there's no logical, like, intersections or stuff like that. All right, let me see what you guys are saying. Let's see. I thought the Moys, I do too. I think it's in the location of the Moys, but I thought theirs was like a 1-story thing, but I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not.
A place that's off limits to everyone except law enforcement.
So is it tough to be in charge of monitoring all this?
No. Okay. Let's see what we're looking at here. That's the pumpkin house. We're looking right at the pumpkin house and the whites. So the whites is right next to the News Nation exclusive. You can also see Sigma Chi in the background. Look how close everything is. Like the whites are right there. Boom. That's the pumpkin house right there.
Oh, just make sure no one comes back here is really all the,
oh, wait, maybe
the
not.
main thing that we're in charge of.
Yeah.
What's the look at this house is like right there butted up against it. I think that's the Shark Tank.
But as you can see, it's not fenced.
I don't know. This is so weird. Hold on. What's this gray house? Is that across the street? What do you guys think that bluish gray house is? Straight ahead. Did Mason have a doodle dog? Not that I know of. I thought so too. I thought so too, but now watch. Watch when you play it.
The main thing that we're in charge of.
Yeah.
There's like 3 different roofs. 1, 2, 3. There's like 3 different roofs right there.
But as you can see, it's not fenced in, so, you know, people can walk around and take pictures.
These private guards work 12-hour shifts every day. When a shift swap occurs, the guards will run a perimeter check, making sure the crime scene hasn't been tampered with. They allowed me to approach the door.
Okay. I think that's the cabin right there. Jack D's house is the white one to the right where my arrow is. See my arrow? This is the Shark Tank. Okay, so this makes sense. So it would be 1112 pumpkin house that we can't see. This is the Shark Tank. And then this would be the cabin. And the cabin is, oh, wait, that is not Jack D's house. That's that other house. Jack D's house is straight across from the cabin. Look how close that is. It's right at that fence. It's like right at that fence. What do you guys think about that? But they didn't see or hear anything that night. They didn't see or hear anything that night. Look how close that is. I read the interviews yesterday. So I read the interviews of the girls that lived in that house at that time. And they said normally they hear everything. Like they can hear conversations. The TV was on, Cam. I know. They were all in bed and sleeping at like 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, and they had their TVs on. I know. Discrete square building is. I'm not sure. Yes, Jack D's house is like, oh, you can't see that part. I'll show you. Back here. Back in here. And so who's back up here? What's this over here? That could be. So yesterday, I took us on Google Earth and we went down to Street View and we went up on Walenta because Walenta is back there. This could be on the other side of Walenta. This might be the address that I was given for Walenta to possibly be the cabin. This doesn't have the log cabin look to it. And the reason we can see it is because it's almost winter time and all the leaves have fallen off the trees. So clear view back there. So yeah, I think that's across the street of Walenta.
Where accused murderer Brian Kohberger allegedly entered before carrying out the massacre of 4 University of Idaho students. It's a scene frozen in time. The backyard littered with reminders of the fun these college kids once had.
But obviously the big change here, everything boarded off. Windows, doors. This is presumed to be the door that the murderer first used to get inside the home.
Kohberger is locked up less than 2 miles from the crime scene. Latah County jailers keep him closed off, but even still, he's not completely isolated from his fellow inmates. Sources with intimate knowledge from inside the jail say a new inmate was recently brought in and immediately harassed Kohberger from afar. "I'm going to kill you, Kohberger," the source claims the new inmate shouted. It was harassment that reportedly carried on all night. Soon, the inmate turned the verbal assault towards his guards. "I will get Kohberger to kill you," the source recalls. Guards were forced to move the inmate to keep...
Wait a minute. I never heard this before. I'm sorry, you guys. I just started letting it play. Holy, what?
...kids once had.
But obviously the big change here, everything boarded off. Window
...is locked up less than 2 miles from the crime scene. Latah County jailers keep him closed off, but even still, he's not completely isolated from his fellow inmates. Sources with intimate knowledge from inside the jail say a new inmate was recently brought in and immediately harassed Kohberger from afar. "I'm going to kill you, Kohberger," the source claims the new inmate shouted. It was harassment that reportedly carried on all night. Soon, the inmate turned the verbal assault towards his guards. "I will get Kohberger to kill you," the source recalls. Guards were forced to move the inmate to keep the harassment from continuing.
Well, that's odd because we have reports about those two. They interviewed those 2 inmates. So in the ISP documents, I believe, they interviewed those 2 inmates. Ironically enough, those 2 inmates, I believe, are related to the drug ring. Just another coincidence. But that is hilarious that the inmate said, "I'll get Kohberger to attack you." Oh my God. I just have to laugh at the craziness of this. I never heard that before, that the inmates said, "I'll get Kohberger to kill you," to the guards. That's crazy. All right. Let me see. Think, Kim, where is it that you want? Okay, I got it. real quick. Going to. Do you guys remember when the car got broken into at the girls' apartment?
The sound of the Idaho quadruple murder has been taped off for the last 4 months with no.
We'll look at this real quick. This is from Plunder.
Yeah, she's right here.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hi there.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Okay, so this morning I just got
Good.
home from Boise yesterday.
Okay.
And this morning I walked upstairs and my suitcase was inside.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
This is the cabin. So there's the cabin. Let me see the cop come up. There should be there's a good view. Here we go. Why is it blurred? Why are they blurring it? I mean, I know there's a license plate there, but just blur the license plate. Do you see the house in the background? There's the house, 1122. Here's the cabin. And we saw how it goes practically up to that fence. Like it's right there. Okay, now they're removing the... Oh, it is right there. Look, to the right, this little garage building thing, I think that's part of Jack D's house. So there it is. Okay, yes, exactly. Here's the steps that go up. It's like they almost look like stone steps that go up. That's built into the land.
Yeah, she's right here.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hi there.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Okay, so this morning I just got home from Boise yesterday.
Okay.
And this morning I walked upstairs and my suitcase was inside, but I remembered leaving it in my car.
Copy.
I was asked my roommate to just open the door. I was like, hey, did you bring my suitcase up? And she's like, yeah, I was.
Okay, she got back from Boise. Just about everybody is from Boise, so I can't really, guarantee that connection. But according to Mason Barstow, the boyfriend from Boise was visiting his girlfriend
in the middle of the road. And I was like, that's weird.
Oh, your suitcase was in the middle of the road?
Yeah, it was back over here.
Who do you guys think this is now that we have identified the names?
I had it in the back of my car.
Oh, interesting.
I was like, maybe I forgot and just left it out. And
right.
So then I take it inside and I open it, and all the stuff that I had, I locked it. I should have my keys. But all the stuff I had up here, all my pay stubs, the stuff I had in the center console, my sunglasses I was literally wearing yesterday were all shoved inside my suitcase, and it was zipped back up. And
so everything that you had in your front seat was now in your suitcase? Yeah. Okay.
And then there's a shoe print over here, and then there's my fuse box under my steering wheel is opened. I'll go get my keys. I just left it
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was just trying to steal it. Why would you open the fuse box? Hot wire? I don't know.
I don't know.
That's odd.
Who's this officer right here that we're looking at? Do you guys recognize him? That's right. There was lots of connections between this house, the people in this house. One of the boyfriends was in Boise. Yep, with Jake Schreiger, because they're all dating delts. They're all delts. They're from Boise. It's crazy. does anybody know who that officer is right there? Because I saw reddish. I mean, he kind of looks like he might have reddish tinted hair. She moved into the 1112 house because of this event. I have the names right here, thanks to Accomplished Day. 1112, Paige Carter, Tori Long, Mara Kiddo, Katie Kleinkopf, and Myra Mamizovic.
Because we've been having those vehicle thefts. Well, there's obviously no way you wouldn't pull prints off this anyways.
Not see any cameras.
No, there's no cameras here.
You guys don't have a Ring doorbell camera or anything like that?
I just ordered one, actually.
Oh, really?
That's smart.
I don't think any of our neighbors do either.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any.
But we have like a Facebook page, so I was gonna ask on there. But like over here, like they didn't take anything. Like I had.
They had a Facebook page, you guys. That King Road area had a Facebook page. She just said, you know how like they have those like neighborhood Facebook pages that everybody can go on there and like complain about people blocking their driveways and stuff like that. Just looking at your comments. Looking at your comments.
This ring up there and they didn't even take it. But like that little fuse box is opened, and then there was a.
Is there any damage inside of it?
No, not that I can tell. Well, I don't really know.
All right. So that video, this incident, you know, happened before the crimes. You know, this girl, man, looking back. Oh, what did I just do? What did I just do? I thought I just shut down the whole live. How serendipitous that this little event happened, and she goes out and gets a camera, and it's her camera that has the only footage of the murders from that night. That's crazy. That's crazy. So 1126 is an important location. I think that I don't understand. I mean, you have to believe them when they're giving information about their friends. The girls that lived in 1126 were Kaylee's sorority sisters. And they're saying we didn't hear anything. They didn't have a party that night. Then I'm like, why are we hiding who the boyfriend was that was staying there? Why did they call before the 911 call? I think one of the next things that we need to do is look back at that 1112 camera footage at all the girls going back and forth, like that night, the next morning, they're carrying things. What are they carrying? And again, I don't think these students committed the crimes. I think there is something with these crimes that is making these students they're not forthcoming with information. We've seen that now from multiple interviews. So yeah, Uncle Ted, there's been assaults, and a lot of them don't even get reported to the police. I should say to the university, let alone the police. They just handle it themselves. So yeah. So I just wanted this show to show these clips. I thought it was good footage to actually absolutely like show for sure real time at that time where this cabin was. Shocking to see how close it really was. We know who lived there. We don't know the boyfriend that was visiting there, and they have important information and an important experience. If you're calling the Delts to tell them to do a head count, like, we need to hear about that. And we need to find out who that is so we can, I wonder if they were interviewed. Was that person interviewed? I would think after they interviewed Mason Barstow, they would go then and interview that person. So, that's all that I'm going to cover today for the Idaho 4. And let me see. I said, hello, Uncle Ted, SRB, Kenny Smith, Simply Kayla. I'm so thankful for all of you that joined me today. Love Tina. Kiss me. Hey, you guys. We're going to head on back. G-Bean. Is that Deanna? Hello. We're going to head back over to the Lindsay Clancy trial for the afternoon session. They probably just came back. They were running late this morning. Hi, Mad Dog. Kenny Smith. I will go back and replay this chat. I know I wasn't reading all of your comments. I just wanted to come on and share this real quick, but I do go back and look at your comments because I know you put good information in there. So I got to go in there and see what you guys were sharing. Wounded Puma. Hello. Happy you're here. Mystic. Sleuther75 was popping in. J66-ish. Or 61-ish. Sorry, 61-ish. That's funny. If I missed anybody, thanks for being here. Please make sure you hit that like button on your way out. If you're watching on replay and you have any information for any of the questions that I asked or anything to add on to with what I'm sharing, if you're somebody who's watching and is like, oh my God, why do they keep talking about this case? I personally feel like I haven't seen the evidence that I don't even think they had enough evidence to have an arraignment to make an arrest. I know that they have the DNA on the knife sheath. To me, that's a movable object. It was skin cells. And when I found out there's other blood, like there's blood on the sheath that wasn't, that they chose not to take through the same process they took the skin cells through. That just started all the questions for me. So I just feel like they have not shown me the evidence that they had the right person. I do know that plea deals can be taken by innocent people. It happens all the time. And it's curious to me. It's concerning to me that, they're not, the case was supposedly closed and they didn't release the files, and they seem to be reluctant to release the files. We're over a year after the plea deal and they still haven't released the court files, the documents. So it's a lot of questions for me. So that's why I keep covering the case. All right, you guys, have a great rest of your day and join me back in about 5 minutes for Lindsay Clancy. Clocking out.
Thanks for watching, hope you felt the spark. Please hit that like before it gets dark. Subscribe, it's free and keeps us going strong. You're part of the crew now, right where you belong. Join us next time, same truth, same fire. We bring the heat and never tire. We're typically unique and proud to be a husband and wife in podcast harmony. Happy to be you.